This is the Illimitable Experience podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Illimitable Experience podcast. If you're watching this video, like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. We are posting great content regularly. With that, today we have as a guest a sports presenter, an IIM graduate, and a person who is associated with sports media since the past 6 years or 6 years. To say the least, he's none other than like a Harsha Bhogle copy. We have Vedant. Hi, Vedant. How is it going?
Very well, very well. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Not sure that I thoroughly deserve all of that, but lovely introduction. Not sure if I can be compared to Harsha Bhogle sir as well, but very, very grateful. Looking forward to having a conversation with you.
Wow, great. So, Vedant, your sports journey has spanned, I mean, it has, and it is really going on very well for the past 6 years. How did you get into sports after graduating from your, IIM? Like the most common sense question, like people would have really asked you this. And I also want to know what really, convinced you that you have to go into this rather than going that 20 or 30 lakhs of package that you get on an average from IIM.
So first of all, who says that we cannot earn 30, 40 lakhs from sports industry? So that is a big question. If somebody says that you cannot earn 30, 40 lakhs from being in an industry that you love, I don't agree to it, because you can earn as much as you want to, because it has been possible for me and it can be possible for anybody across the globe. Now, coming on to the question, I started my sports journey right after the final year of my graduation. So when I was studying in St. Xavier's College, that is when I started this journey. By the third year, Manan, I realized that economic honors is something that is not possible for me to make a career in. And I was just sitting with my father one day. He also asked that I'm very tensed about your future. What exactly will you do? You just pass with just a few grace marks, and you know how things have been from past 3 years for you. And I always thought that he's right, because I am not that person who can do a back-end job, who can do a lot of things around economics. I cannot be Raghuram Rajan, and I knew that. So I thought, why not I do something that I love from the start of it? So let me take you through a lovely story. I think it's somewhere in March 2017, me along with my father, we were watching a game, India versus Australia. And he was just sitting by my side. He said, what do you think will happen on the next ball? I said that it will go away from the right-hander, and Steve Smith was on strike. And apparently the same thing happened. And I started to predict again and then again. And my father was like, if you can predict the game so good, why don't you write about it? And honestly saying, Manan, I wasn't this fluent 6 years back. My English was not good at all. And I thought me and writing, they don't go hand in hand. But my father insisted me that how about you write? And he just gave me that temptation that if you will write, I'll try to get it published in a newspaper. Okay. And I was like, my article getting published in a newspaper, I got nothing better. You won't believe, I ended up writing a match report that took me 1.5 days to write. Now, you and I, we both are in media industry. We know that 1.5 days to write an article, it's too much. That's too much of a time. And my article was rejected eventually by the news publications. They said, firstly, it took a lot of while. And secondly, there were a lot of grammatical errors. I came back, I cribbed about it to my father, and I told him that I told you that I'm not good with this. Why did you insist on me? He's like that, if you have written this article, why don't you just post it on Facebook? And I ended up posting it on Facebook. And someone who is a very good friend of mine, Ankit Mishra, who was then the co-founder of crictracker, he ended up seeing my article. He eventually...
Yeah, I lost you. Co-founder of what?
Co-founder of crictracker. He eventually liked that article and gave me the first opportunity in sports industry. So that's how it started. And honestly, just just by writing, just by watching those games and knowing that you will be paid for it, I think it was nothing better. And I was pretty sure that I want to be happy all my life as much as I can. Sports make me the happiest, and this is probably the field that I want to be in.
Wow. So I have no words to just to describe that. This feeling that some people sometimes are really afraid to take the risk of pursuing what they love, and people who take the risk are really the ones who make it out. So Vedant, that's a really great story that you told me that your father was also supportive. I mean, rather than being supporting, see, I would say that he knew your flaws, that you are not able to do, perform very well in your economics. So, I mean, usually the people usually support, but parents fail to understand our own drawbacks. The dilemma is there कि हमारा बच्चे में ये कैसे कभी कभी कुछ हो सकता है. But I'm really glad that he understood this, that acha, there is a thing, and he pushed you in the right direction. So after you completed your economics, what did
Yeah.
you do?
So I started working with crictracker because I will tell you, I was looking forward to write then, because as soon as Ankit Mishra, my friend, the co-founder of crictracker, ended up believing in me, Manan, I started to believe that this is the field for me. And then I remember that they used to ask me that, would you mind watching a game between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh? I was like, why would I mind? I would have anyway watched it. So I started to enjoy, because when I was watching the game, I knew that I'll be writing something that should make sense to the readers. And eventually a lot of audience will be reading that, because Cricket Tracker has a big community and a lot of readers come there to read articles. And I knew that this is a perfect opportunity for me, because if I end up capitalizing on this, then eventually the path will be set. So from then onwards, I worked with Cricket Tracker for a year. Then I came back to my home city, that is, of course, Jaipur. I realized that Rajasthan Royals is making a comeback after 2 years because of that ban, and they would be looking forward to have a new team, not only the players, but also in the management. I ended up going to the SMS Stadium as well, gave 9 interviews, and finally I met Rajiv Khanna. Rajiv Khanna is also my godfather. He ended up giving me the opportunity, and I worked with Rajasthan Royals for a year. And then I moved to News Nation. News Nation, I worked for a year then again, and I worked there as a sports journalist. Came back to my home city again, and since then I've been working with MyTeam 11. Currently, I'm the vice president of MyTeam 11, of course, the chief head of Sportstiger. And the journey has been fantastic, because I'm loving working for Sportstiger. Last 3 years have given us a lot of memories, Manan, and a lot of users. It has made me believe that if you are passionate about something, that things can happen for you. And you rightly said, a lot of times parents don't support. And you won't believe, since I just want to touch upon that, because you said that parents don't support. When my father insisted me to write, at the same time, he was a little scared as well, because he knew that I'm taking something in a freelance role at the start of it. And I was working from a distance. I was in Jaipur, the company was in Bangalore. After a
Hmm.
month time, when I had written 100 articles, my father asked, were you receiving a payment for that? Because my father was like, you might not be getting a payment because you have never met them. But
Hmm.
over a period of time, when he saw the growth, when he saw me getting better with what I'm doing, he started to believe. And I think it's our generation's uh, problem. It's our generation's thing to make sure that parents believe in what their children are doing, because our parents have seen something over the years. They only know doctor, CA, accountants,
Hmm.
maybe lawyer. If you are doing something out of them, don't think that your parents don't want to be maybe supportive to what you are doing. It's your responsibility to make them support you in a way that you end up doing well in your life. So that is very important. So I think it's
Mm.
our generation's problem, it's our generation's issue to be taken care that whatever we would want to do in our lives, do it to the fullest that you want. And at the same time, take your parents along. If they're not understanding your career, make them understand. And eventually they will support, because all parents love their children.
Right, rightly said. Uh, Vedant, your decision to get into IIM, was it already that you had decided ki now that I'm doing very well in the sports industry or the media industry, now I want to make myself more, established by taking a college degree? Or was it during the IIM years of the 2 years of IIM you figured out, okay, now I know exactly where to go? And I'll tell you why I asked this, because a few months back I was talking to one of the IIM graduates, okay, I mean, who was going to graduate this year. And I asked her, what are the people like in IIM? Are they like so much, dedicated to their life that they know exactly what they'll be doing 15 years or 20 years down the line? Like, itna planning hota hai unka? So she told me that no one, and that is not the case. Most of the people who come to IIM are clueless of what they want to do in the future. I mean, they are intelligent. There is no
Yeah.
doubt about it. That is why they are into IIMs. But what to do exactly after IIM, they don't know. So that is why I asked this question.
Very, very nice question, man. And honestly saying, when I entered and started working in Sportstiger, I realized that I will be in the management and I'll be leading a team. Currently, I'm leading a team of 40 individuals. So I realized that my sports knowledge is one, but at the same time, the management skills are the other. I always wanted to do MBA like any other. And there is a set pattern in our house that if you want to do something, do it from the best. And I
Correct.
tried a couple of times. I didn't get through IIM. Then I finally got through, and I realized that I want to do it anyhow. And
Hmm.
the idea to do an MBA from IIM, it was pretty sure that I want to learn management. I want to learn from what my colleagues are doing. How are they doing those assignments? How are they taking that pressure? How are they putting that pressure into the normal environment? So that is something that I always wanted to learn. I went to IIM, did doing MBA. Reason was pretty clear. I wanted to make contacts. I wanted to learn how management actually works and how can I be better with the job that I am doing. You are right. जो IIM से पास आउट होते हैं वो कोई एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी नहीं होते हैं, कोई ऐसे आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स नहीं होते हैं कि 30 साल का प्लान कर लिया. It's just that you want to give your best shot in those 2 years, and then you become so confident that whatever comes your way, you're so confident that you can deal with anything and everything which is striving you. All right. So that happens with the students which pass out from IITs, IIMs, AIMs. So they become more confident to deal with anything and everything which comes their way. And I think that is what helped me the most doing from IIM Koi.
Right. And right after IIM, you started Sportstiger.
Yeah. So I'm currently with IIM as well. My 6-month course is still left, and I am working with Sportstiger as well. So it's an executive MBA. So it's a 2-year program, and this course will get completed by January 2023. And currently, with that, I'm doing Sportstiger. So Sportstiger is in the business from 2020. IIM happened to me in 2021, and it will go on till 2023.
Okay, right. So what did you see, or what was your experience that led you to founding Sportstiger?
Oh, that's a lovely story, man, and I'll tell you. So basically, what happened was, as I told you, I came back from News Nation. I was not enjoying working. Okay, so I came back from News Nation. I started working with MyTeam 11. When I started working with MyTeam 11, the environment was just opposite to how it was at News Nation, because News Nation was very professional. very professional. You need to log in by 10 o'clock. You need to log out by 7 o'clock. That is the kind of environment that they had. Here, you log in at 10 o'clock, but there was no log out time. So after a week, 10 days, I started to not enjoy this space. This space is my team 11. I was like, where have I come? Because till now, I've always worked in an environment which caters to a 9-hour job, and then you have another life to live as well, because that's how it should be. And at my team 11, it was mostly about you come, you work like family, you work like you own that company. But I was not getting equipped to that. So I ended up going to Sanjeet Sihag. He's the founder of My Team 11. And I told him that, Sanjeet, I'm not enjoying working with My Team 11. And it's too time consuming, and it's too much to ask for. And Sanjeet said, it's just been 10 days. Just give a little more time. How about you enjoy it? I gave a couple of weeks more, Manan, and then I still realized that this is something that I cannot do all my life, starting at 10 o'clock and then don't know when to log out. So I went to him again and I told him that now I've made my mind. I don't have any other job in hand, but I'm not working with you guys. He said, hold on. We like you as a person. We like you for the knowledge that you have in sports industry. How about we do something together? And that is something I'm not even kidding. It skipped a heartbeat. That I am getting an opportunity to work with my team 11 and execute an idea that I have. He said, if you have an idea, I'll put money on that idea and on you. And I won't tell, nobody has ever said that to me. But Sanjeet, who knew me just for like 4-5 months, he ended up saying that if you have an idea, Vedant, I'll put money on your idea and on you. And that changed my life, honestly. He ended up giving me an opportunity. I built a Sportstiger case that this is something that we can do in the business since we are already into the fantasy market. He ended up giving me a free hand to execute it in any way possible. We started working on this product back in 2019 October. It took us 5 to 6 months to get it live. And since then, it has been a fantastic journey. From 2020 till 2022, we have got millions of users. Millions of users love us. And I think both Sanjeet and I are grateful that he ended up giving me an opportunity and I ended up doing something what I always wanted to do. So yeah, that's how Sportstiger came into place.
That's an awesome story. You know what I see is that when you told me that you straight away went to the founder of Team 11 and told him, look, I am not able to fit in here very well. My first thought was like this, these are like shots fired. Okay, like you are going to get something in return. कि मेरे company के बारे में ऐसा कैसा बोल दिया. But then it was okay. Let's give.
Manan, I'll tell you one thing. There is lovely thing that I would want to tell you there. When it comes to my team 11, the founders have always been very approachable. It has never been like that we cannot enter into their cabin. We cannot share our worries with them. They have been so supportive. They just don't say that we are a family for the sake of it. They mean it if they say that they treat us as family. Sanjeet Sihag in 2019 meant that Vedant, I'll invest in your idea and on you when he said it back in 2019. He meant it. And he ended up putting money in this product. So that is something what this company is capable of. That is something what Sanjeet and Vineet have been able to achieve in the last 6 years. And the environment is fantastic. So as you said that you were just thinking about how somebody just enters the room and he would be thinking that how can somebody say this for my company? But they're all ears. They're all ears. They're lovely people.
This is exactly the modern day organization, people of our generation want to work for, where there is authority who manages everything, but the authority is not so intimidating that you cannot speak to them about your concerns or your own ideas and the discomfort that you might be facing while working. That's a great great way to approach things and issues. So Vedant, you told me that you worked for News Nation and then Team 11. Now, I don't know about News Nation. So, what is News Nation? Is it like a publishing house for articles, like you write and they publish it? And what is Team 11?
All right, so let's start with News Nation. News Nation is basically a TV channel, Manan. It's a national TV channel where news across the verticals come, and sports being one of their beat. So I was working specifically for the sports beat, not the other beats, of course. And they ended up having a digital space as well. When I say digital space, they had a website. They have a website rather, and they also have an application. So the mobile application. So I was working majorly in the digital space on the website and the application, where we used to write content, we used to curate content, not only textual but also the visual content, and across beats, be it sports, politics, world, entertainment, offbeat, and a lot more categories. So normal news platform, as we say, is what News Nation is. Coming on to MyTeam 11, MyTeam 11 is a fantasy gaming application, where people come, put their money, make the best possible 11, and end up winning a certain price, and then MyTeam 11 takes its own commission. That's how MyTeam 11 works. So MyTeam 11 is basically the second largest fantasy gaming application in India as well.
Now, when you started Sportstiger, so this Sportstiger is completely on digital media and it's not on TV or like that, right? So, what is the work in Sportstiger that you and your team has been doing?
So Sportstiger is basically a one-stop sports content platform. For anything and everything that you want around sports, you get it on Sportstiger. So there are a lot of platforms which give cricket news, Manan. There are a lot of platforms which will be giving F1 news. There are a lot of platforms which will be giving football scores. But there are very less application which gives everything at one platform. So we are actually solving a bigger problem and getting all the users to one platform. And that platform is Sportstiger. So Sportstiger is basically a platform where you get news, you get live scores, you get fantasy tips, you get live shows, you get data, you get stats, you get fantasy tips, you get everything on one platform. That's Sportstiger.
Wow, you know what I love about Sportstiger now that you have described it and about my own podcast as well is that you have everything under one umbrella. You don't need to go to some X app for X sports or Y app for Y sports. सब कुछ एक ही अंदर है. That is like a one-stop solution. That's the best. I mean, people say that it is always better to be a specialist in something or have pick up a niche and then build on it. But I am not a personal fan of that philosophy. My philosophy is that be deep generalist, have an idea of everything that is around you, and then pick something that that you can build on. And that is exactly what you are doing as well.
Yeah, we are basically following you, because whenever it comes to podcast, people come to your platform because anything and everything comes on Manan's platform. So same thing happens in sports for Sportstiger.
Right, rightly said. Wow. Vedant, you have I can see of many medals and ID cards behind. And I can also see a Rajasthan Royal jersey with your name on it, and I believe which is an original also, and a lot of trophies and everything. So can you tell me how did you end up getting these medals and ID cards and everything?
So this is a lovely story. Let me tell you. So this is my cabin. This is my office, and at the back of it, I have 9 to 10 trophies. All trophies are either my individual achievements with Sportstiger or company achievement of Sportstiger. So all the trophies are lined up there. This is my favorite jersey because this is what I got in 2018 while working with Rajasthan Royals. My name is written on it, and along with that, my jersey number, that is 18. So a big Virat Kohli fan. So a Virat Kohli fan will always have 18 number jersey. So that's why 18. And these are my accreditations. So all these IDs that you see, so these are the media accreditation. These are either of the ICC World Cup or the IPL or the BCCI accreditation. So all of it is right there. So I think these are 10 or 11 in number. So I
So,
yeah. So
I mean, this is a lot of information that you have given me right now. We'll have to go, step by step to get into the details of it. You said that you have worked for Rajasthan Royals. So, what was your, how did you get into Rajasthan Royals? I mean, I am not aware of the selection process and everything. So it's kind of new to me. How can somebody work for Rajasthan Royals? And what was your role when you were in Rajasthan Royals? Like, were you like regularly interacting with players or taking care of logistics or something like that?
Lovely, lovely. So basically, what happened was, as I told you at the start of it as well, Rajasthan Royals was making a comeback after 2 years, and 2 years they were banned by BCCI, and then they were coming back. When they were coming back, Manan, I realized that they will be needing a team because every franchise, every company needs a team to run, right? And Rajasthan Royals being the home team, because I belong from Jaipur, so I knew that they will be building things from scratch, and not only in terms of players, but also in terms of management. And I wanted to target a position in management. So I did not have any contacts to clear it. I did not have any contacts at Rajasthan Royals. I just, being that passionate guy, ended up going to the SMS Stadium, which is the international stadium in Jaipur. I ended up going there. I continuously went there till the time I got through. So I ended up giving 9 interviews. You won't believe I have given interview to a security guard as well. Security guard, I've given an interview just to get into Rajasthan Royals because my focus was pretty clear. I'm going to SMS Stadium to get into this franchise anyhow. So I was very passionate. I remember giving my first interview to the security guard. Then again, another interview. They used to call me every day just by thinking that ये लड़का कल नहीं आएगा. ये लड़का कल नहीं आएगा. हम इसको इतना टाल रहे हैं. Anyway, he will not come tomorrow. But I was very dedicated and I knew that I want to get into this franchise. Thankfully, after 9 odd interviews where I end up saying same things again and again, I ended up meeting Rajiv Khanna. Now, Rajiv Khanna was the Chief Operating Officer of Rajasthan Royals, COO of Rajasthan Royals, and he ended up interacting with me saying कि मैं ये देख रहा हूँ वेदांत कि तुम रोज आते हो और वहां जाकर सीट पर बैठ जाते हो, तुमसे कोई बात नहीं भी करता तो भी you want to be there. What is the reason behind coming every day even when you are not sure whether that opportunity is there or not? I said, sir, I just want to join Rajasthan Royal irrespective of the position is there or not, irrespective of how much I will earn or not. That is secondary. I want to get into this franchise. He said, seeing your passion, seeing the amount of dedication that you have, I will give you an opportunity. And it skipped my heartbeat. I'm not even kidding. When he said that I'll give you an opportunity, it skipped my heartbeat that this guy who has just seen me for 9 days is believing in me and will be giving me an opportunity to work with Rajasthan Royals. I wanted to work in media, Manan, since you asked what was your role there. I wanted to work in media. I wanted to write articles for Rajasthan Royals, but Rajiv sir cleared me that there is no opportunity as such in media. People are already working there, but I might give you an opportunity in operations. And I didn't know anything about it. All right. I didn't know anything about it. There was a very small thing that I knew, and that was media. And I wasn't even sure whether I will be good in it or not. But he said that we might give you an opportunity there. Come from tomorrow. And I did not even ask for salary. I said, I'll come. I'll come and I'll start working. So I started to work in ground operations. I remember I used to handle hospitality, housekeeping, vendor finalization, light and sound, entertainment, a lot of things started to come under me. They started to see the passion. They started to see that this guy has brain. He can definitely do something. And then they started to give me opportunity to go in the away games as well. So I used to be in regular contact with the owner of Rajasthan Royals as well. Was working very closely with him. Used to handle ticketing in away games. So all the operational work came under me, and I was working there as an assistant manager in operations. And honestly, saying designation apart, loved my stint at Rajasthan Royals, and I can't be more grateful to Rajiv sir for giving me that opportunity.
Wow. And how long did you work with Rajasthan
1 year.
Royals?
1 year.
Full 1 year. So that's like one season.
1 season, yes.
Wow. Oh, I'm really thrilled that you were so dedicated to joining Rajasthan, after it was making a comeback. नहीं भाई जाना है तो जाना है. That obviously not even verbally, but by way of actions, you really convinced the people in the Rajasthan, management team that okay, nah, there is something. He truly wants to be a part of this team. That is what convince them to let you. And the second thing that I noticed, Vedant, is that this is the second time we are talking, and I have strongly felt that you are a very good orator. You know how to speak with the polish. You know how to speak with polish. Well, writing is a different skill that people can do. Using apps like Grammarly and everything. But while speaking, you have that polish that the opposite person will be convinced कि इसको काम देना है, and I'll tell you what, this is how I feel when I'm talking to you. Okay, it's not a fake conviction that you are trying to portray. Okay, because क्या होता है, I am also a lawyer. I understand that okay, when people are telling the truth, when people are overhyping things, and there hasn't been a moment in both the conversations which we have had that I felt कि अरे ये थोड़ा exaggerate करके बोल रहा है just because he wants to be on the podcast or he wants something, right? You know what I mean? That is really excellent, and I was really impressed. I did not tell you back then, but I was really impressed with the way you speak. And I'm going to tell you something before something that happened before that as well. So it was long time ago when ROV had come. He had texted, okay, this is a great episode and everything. So I did not take it in a way कि इसको आगे जाके बुलाना है. Now one day I realized, okay, this guy messaged me personally to just say that this was a great episode, which usually doesn't happen. Okay, and I'm like, okay, let's go to his profile, let's check out his profile. I'm like, ठीक है, देखते हैं. So I'll be honest, I'm really going to be complete with the Instagram profile that you have. I did not think that you would have so much to offer as a guest. Okay, because you haven't described yourself very well on the Instagram profile, but I'm like, ठीक है, चलो यार जाके देखते हैं, कुछ तो बात निकलेगी. And okay, you accepted the invitation. And I was like, okay, let's get. And when the first time when we started talking, I'm like, wow, this is a really great person to have on the podcast. And I was personally very excited to record an episode with you as soon as we could. But really great. And one personal suggestion would be that make your Instagram profile a bit fancy, that really reflects who you truly are, because वो सब Instagram profile में दिख नहीं रहा है.
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of people have already told me to redesign my Instagram account, and I'll definitely do it. But I think you are way too kind, Manan. You are way too kind, and I think it has been that lovely talking to you as well in the couple of conversations that we have had till now. And honestly, saying when you come from a middle class family, it's very important to make sure that you put right foot at the right time. This is what my father told me a few years back, and I have just remembered it. I'm just trying to replicate it every day because every day is important. So I try that if I put my best foot forward with each passing day, and I think God is kind.
Vedant, your Sportstiger covers all the sports that are possible to be covered. One fascinating question I have is that since I live in Dubai, and this is a common observation in Dubai, that यहाँ पे सब रहते हैं, Indians भी रहते हैं, Pakistanis भी रहते हैं. Pakistanis also watch IPL, which I was surprised to know. But you, since you're covering this, have you ever had a chance to cover PSL? And if you did, how did people receive it? Okay, Pakistan ka league hai to nahi dekhna hai, ya people are okay. Like if it's entertaining, we'll certainly watch it. Karke.
So I'll tell you, in 2020, when we launched this product, we started this product with a bang, where we bought the media rights, the live streaming rights of Pakistan Super League. And honestly, a lot of people said that why do you want to buy the live streaming rights of Pakistan Super League? Not many people from India would be looking forward to watching it. But the response that we got from India was amazing. And I'll tell you what I learned from that incident. I'm not the person who can tell you should people watch Pakistan Super League, should people not, but I can definitely talk on data, because data doesn't lie, numbers don't lie. All right. And that is exactly what has happened with me. Pakistan Super League got a fantastic response from India, and not only Jammu and Kashmir, which people say from all parts of India, it got a great response. What did I learn from that incident? I learned that politics is different, cricket is pure. Cricket is purely on the basis of technique, skill, temperament, and love for that game. Good cricket is happening in Pakistan. We need to appreciate it. If Shaheen Shah Afridi is bowling a great in swinger to KL Rahul, and KL Rahul is getting knocked off, I think we need to appreciate Shaheen Shah Afridi. If Babar Azam is going past Virat Kohli, then Babar Azam is doing pretty well to go past a legend like Virat Kohli. So similarly, I think with the data that I have, I think we have got a fantastic response, and the only sole reason is people came on the platform to see pure cricket, good cricket, and that is what Pakistan Super League ended up producing. I don't want to compare PSL with IPL, because IPL is the greatest property across the globe. No tournament is even near Indian Premier League, but Pakistan Super League, at whatever level that they are doing, I think they are doing good.
Right. Yeah, that's something that I've noticed here as well. That now that you have spoken about the Indian landscape, I can tell you about Dubai is that yeah, there are Indians who live here too, and they too have been fascinated with PSL. Like not a lot of Indians, but they are a bunch, and they are aware of what is happening is PSL, which team that they like to support. I don't personally watch that much either of the IPL or PSL, but few of the teams that I've heard is Multan, but I don't know what's the next name after that. And
Multan is
Lahore is yeah,
Lahore
Multan, and
Qalandars.
yeah. So those are the teams that I've heard of,
Yeah.
and I think they are inviting players who have passed a certain age. Like I've seen Shane Watson, who is in his 40s, play there, and something like that. So they have a different niche that they're catering to. But I think they will be doing pretty well. I'm not sure about the exact stats, but listening to what you have to say, I think they are doing pretty well, entertaining their crowd in Pakistan as well as in Dubai and other Middle Eastern countries.
That's what, Manan, it's not matchable to IPL, of course, 100%, because even if we see the amount of broadcasting rights, IPL gets 115.4 crores per game. On the other hand, Pakistan Super League gets 2.7 crore rupees per game. Pakistan Super League has around 33 to 34 games in a season. That amounts to somewhere around 90 crores for full broadcasting rights. That is not even comparable to one game of IPL that costs 115.4 crores to Star Sports. Now, these two properties are not comparable. But why are we comparing these two properties? Right? That is a big question. Why are you comparing? It's not comparable. You need to see Pakistan Super League individually. You need to see Indian Premier League individually, because they are both good in their own space.
Right. Now, this a personal experience that I want to narrate over here. When you talk about the broadcasting rights, definitely if there are more, more rights are given to more houses to stream the matches. Obviously, there will be more brands also that want to associate it with the matches. Now, I was in India for for 6 weeks in April, and I was watching IPL on Hotstar. Now, this is my personal opinion over here. Obviously, business aspect not involved in this. I was personally annoyed at the ads that are being run constantly after every over. Right. And like ads पे ads आ रहा है because wicket जाने के बाद ad आता है. Okay, white ball डालने के बाद एक ऐसा छोटा सा नीचे एक ad आता है. ओवर खत्म होने के बाद एक ad आता है. वो strategic time out के टाइम ad आता है. So मैच कम और ads में ज्यादा दिख रहा वैसा लग रहा था. Now cut to the match where Mumbai was playing Delhi in Wankhede, the deciding match, which was Bangalore, जहाँ पे उसका Bangalore का stake था उसमें. Now when I went to watch the match in Wankhede, this was like a very peaceful experience that I did not have to watch so many ads, constantly bombarded with ads. So that is something that that annoyed me a little bit. I mean, not a little bit, a lot more, because so many ads were involved. But eventually, I really enjoyed my experience in the stadium. Last I remember, I had gone to watch.
Let me ask you a question there.
Yeah.
How much do you pay for Hotstar?
I don't pay for Hotstar because in Dubai, Hotstar is banned.
No, for example, if I talk about a user, how much a user is paying for Hotstar? I think he pays around 1,500 rupees, or sorry, 500 rupees for a year, 600 rupees for a year. That involves a lot of subscription, a lot of series, a lot of live shows, and many more things. So you get 500, you get this. How much did you pay to watch a game?
1625 inclusive taxes. 1500 ये था base price and the taxes उसके ऊपर.
Now that's 3 times more to what the yearly cost of Hotstar is. Correct. Of course, the experience needs to be better for 1625 watching from the stadium. But at the same time, that's how they earn. I just told you that 115.4 crores per game, somewhere around 58 crores for a TV right per game of IPL. If they will not show you the advertisement, it will be a loss-making property.
Yeah.
Why
so that is
it in detail? Because Sportstiger is also in a business. Sportstiger also run ads. Sportstiger also shows live cricket, and it's very important to have those advertisements. Yes, from a user point, it's annoying, but nowadays these applications are giving you a chance to pay a little more, have an ad-free experience.
Ad-free experience. Yeah, that is why in the beginning I said that, let alone the business aspect of it, from personal experience. And with what was I getting to? Yeah, the match itself, the last time that I had visited Wankhede was in the first IPL. I remember the match clearly where it was Kolkata versus Mumbai, and Kolkata had made the lowest possible score in the history of IPL, somewhere 47 or 48 वो वाला match. So I was like, पैसा भी दिया, जल्दी out भी हो गए. So that was very refreshing as well to watch the match again. Now, Vedant, you told me that you have covered a few ICC events as well. So where did you cover? Because if it is Asia Cup, it certainly has to be in UAE. But and if it is other than Asia Cup, which all tournaments did you have a chance to visit?
So basically, I ended up coming to Asia Cup, of course. That is in UAE. That is not an ICC event. That is an ACC event, Asian Cricket Council's event. That is something that I've covered. When it comes to ICC event, I've got an opportunity to do commentary for a radio channel during ICC men's 50 over World Cup in 2019. And other than that, I'm looking forward to going to Australia later this year. And other than that, I've done 1, 2, 3 IPLs, 4 IPLs as a media person, 1 IPL as being the operations guy, and international matches I've covered 40 plus. All India matches, of course. I've covered in Delhi, I've covered in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Jaipur, of course, Mumbai. So almost all parts of India I've covered a game. So majorly it's the international and IPL matches, Asia Cup when it comes to the tournament, and looking forward to going for that ICC event in Australia later this year.
Oh, so you're talking about T20 World Cup, right? In Australia.
World Cup. Yes.
T20 World Cup, right? Now, how many players have you had a chance to interview? Like the big player रोहित शर्मा है या विराट कोहली है, ऐसा किसी के साथ कभी इंटरव्यू हुआ है? Like even if not interview, at least a backstage conversation कि hi Virat, I'm a big fan and etc. etc.
So I have interacted with almost all players in Indian cricket team, be it Virat Kohli, be it Rohit Sharma, be it Hardik Pandya, be it MS Dhoni. I've interacted with all these players. While I was working with Rajasthan Royals, I got an opportunity. Virat Kohli, I've asked him a question a lot of times while being in the press conference. I've asked so many questions to Rohit Sharma as well. I've interviewed Julan Goswami, I've interviewed Sri Shant, I've interviewed David Gower, I've interviewed Shushma Verma. So I've interviewed a lot of cricketers as well. So I think around 50 plus cricketers I have interviewed. Have attended over 100 plus press conferences. And I think I personally know over 50 cricketers.
Oh, wow. You know, one thing I really find fascinating is that, see, हम टीवी पे देखते हैं, right? टीवी पे when we see such people interviewing, we automatically relate कि अच्छा, हाँ, हर्षा भोगले, it is obvious all the cricketers might be his friends, या सुनील गावस्कर के सब friends होंगे. But people like you who don't appear on TV, you know, and when you people like you speak, I mean, not only you, there are other people as well who are working behind the scene and who know and observe the players closely. And when they say, Ki, Acha, I have talked with him, but you know, this is what he has to say, he's a great person. It's really unbelievable कि you don't get the necessary media coverage as much as others do. कि अगर तूने रैंडम बंदे को बोल दिया, राइट, यू वॉकिंग ऑन द स्ट्रीट, ये तेरा पता है कि मैं विराट कोहली के साथ मेरा व्हाट्सएप पे काफी मीम्स एक्सचेंज चलता रहता है. So it's unbelievable for him to understand कि no, it's not possible. Why? Because I haven't seen Vedant Sharma on TV. But it's really great that you get to interact with such players as well. And when you talk to these players, what is the how has your experience been with them? Do you anytime have gotten a feeling that there is a little bit of celebrity mojo that they exude, or it is like normal as you're talking to a normal person?
So let me answer a question that you were trying to frame before, and then I'll come to this question. So I think, Manan, it's majorly about the kind of relations that you make with people. All right, touch wood, I have been good with making relations with these players, because there is one interesting instance which I've never said and never told to anybody as yet. Sri Shant, when he announced his retirement from all forms of the game, the first call that he made was to me.
My God.
He said, Bhai, main retire ho raha hu. And after a minute, he announced his retirement. This is something that I've never told to anybody. Sri Shant is that good a friend of mine. So Sri Shant ended up calling me. That was only possible because of the kind of relations I have with him. I call him Sri Bhai. So that is the kind of relation that I have with him. Shushma Verma is a great friend of mine. We discuss a lot of things, everything except for cricket. We end up discussing which movie to watch, which things can be done. So it's all about the relations that you make. Now, coming on to your second question, how are these players in real life? I think most of them are so good that they never make you feel that they are the Virat Kohli or they are the Rohit Sharma or the Hardik Pandya. They will never make you feel that way. It's just the hype that a lot of time media people create. It's a lot to do with the hype that, oh, he did not give me the selfie. Oh, he did not give me the autograph. Maybe he has that attitude, but that's not the thing. The person is busy at times and is not able to give, because I have had great experiences with everybody. Rohit Sharma has always taken my question. I'll give you an instance. Back in 2019, Chennai Super Kings was playing against Mumbai Indians. It was a final in Hyderabad. I went to cover that game. Rohit Sharma came for the press conference. The press conference almost got over. The media manager said no more questions. My hand was raised. Rohit Sharma said, "Uska question le lo, uske baad chale." So,
Wow.
so
Wow.
that is the kind of relations that you make, and that has happened. So I think they are lovely cricketers, lovely human beings, Manan, and I hope you also get to interact with them someday soon. And I really hope that you have the same experience as I had.
Man, I mean, it is possible sooner if you set me up with them, these players that we are talking about. But this is I'm really got goosebumps when you said कि अच्छा there is a certain amount of ये वाली जो बात की when you raised your hand despite the manager telling you this is the last question. This is like a privilege, कि तुम लोग ने personal relations पे develop किया है, and it's not that कि there is an ulterior motive also कि मैं इसके साथ कभी बात करूंगा तो ये मुझे chance देगा. It is natural, and the way we are talking right now, it is obviously the way you will be talking with those people as well. And when you said I mean, I really got goosebumps when you said, कि, ऐसा एक incident हुआ था. That's so amazing. Oh wow. Let me just digest this fact. Vedant, you have been in the sports media for like 6 good years now, and really good years, as much you have spoken about it in this conversation. Uh, do you at any point in time have an affinity towards teaching students, or teaching mass media students, or teaching management students about how to amalgamate management, which is your IIM degree, with the sports aspect, and do some teaching in it?
So, Manan, I've recently started to teach at Westford University in UAE, and I'm teaching sports management there as a visiting faculty, of course. So, I'm taking a couple of modules. I'll tell you why I took that. The idea to take that was to make sure that whatever I know, I'm able to transfer that knowledge in the next generation, which is coming, the next people who want to make their career in sport. Don't make the same mistakes as I did at the start of it. Try to believe in yourself a little more. And that is something what pushed me to take it. This opportunity came to me. I did not apply for it. This opportunity ended up coming to me, and I thought that what better than, of course, transferring the knowledge that I have. And it has been a fantastic experience thus far to work with Westford University. Students are fantastic. They ask you lovely questions. You want to go prepared, because anything can come your way. It's like sometimes it's a bouncer as well, but you need to tackle those questions. A lot of learning experiences for me as well, because I've worked with a lot of media organizations in the past. I'm currently heading a product, and this has all been the media side of me, but I always wanted to do something around the management and teaching as well. Now I've got an opportunity, and I'm looking forward to teaching for many more years.
And obviously, one aspect of teaching is always that the person wants to give back to the society what they have earned from the society. Now, apart from that, what is the other purpose that motivates you to teach this sports management course and not any other course? Like, it's a little bit of philosophical question. Obviously, it is very subjective. There is no right answer to it. I am not even expecting I give a give a concrete answer. But what is the other purpose that motivates you?
So there are two things why I took this sports management. One is very basic. That is, I think I'm good with this. So I know I'm good with sports, and I'm decent when it comes to management. So why don't I teach it? And I eventually ended up getting that opportunity to teach specific sports management. So I did not, as I said, I did not apply for anything else. So this opportunity came to me. They asked me to teach sports management specifically, and that is something that I've been doing. Second, why I cannot teach something else except for sports for now is I think sports end up teaching you a lot of things. A lot of aspects come under sports, which eventually help you in your daily life. I'm not against accounts, I'm not against economics, I'm not against physics or chemistry or bio or whatever. But what sports teaches you, that is different. You watching Rafael Nadal playing French Open final, his composure, his aggression, his hunger to win that game. You learn a lot of things while watching a game. Virat scoring another century for his country teaches you another thing. MS Dhoni having that calmness on field when even we sitting at home are feeling that pressure. That is something that you learn from sports. Cristiano Ronaldo having a body of 20, 25, even at the age of 30, 35, 37, is what we learn from sports. I think the most important learnings of anybody's life is, Manan, the mental strength. And sports ends up teaching that. Management is second most important thing, at least for me. And when I got that opportunity, I thought, why not? And I, at least now, I don't think of teaching any other thing except for sports management, because it changes one's life not only in terms of sports but overall as a human being as well.
That's a commonplace story when people say that you get to learn a lot from sports about your life as well. Now, a few days ago, I was talking to one of the guests who is pursuing his sports law from Nottingham University. And when I was talking to him, he's in the last phase of his masters, so it is a time when you have to start writing your dissertation. Now, while we are talking about his dissertation, I asked him, what is the topic of your dissertation? So it is a fantastic topic that he chose. This topic was, how does sports enable one to stay away from the bad habits of life, with a bad aspect of life. For example, when you look at the stories of MMA players or basketball players, rugby players in America. So all these people, they go. I'm taking an American example. Reason being, there is a lot of problem of drug addiction, and all those. It is prevalent there. Obviously, it's not as much in India. And how sports enabled them to be away from these addictions when the surrounding people were walking into that direction. So it's a very beautiful dissertation that he has started to write. And sooner or later, when I have him as a guest, we'll certainly be talking about his dissertation, what he has written, and they're backed by some data. So when that comes out, I would really want you to listen to that aspect, particularly his
100%.
dissertation, because this is something that I've heard from a lot of sports people, okay, how sports save their life. And so really, it's an emotional aspect as well. Now we say that men aren't emotional, but when men start talking about these aspects, how the work made them an excellent person or a prolific or professional, it is touching to see कि अरे यार, he dug the huge problem that he might have faced. Quite inspiring as well to read and get to know about such personal details of our players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really looking forward to listening to that.
Yeah. Vedant, you have been, you have now your own Sportstiger, and it's been quite some time. One important thing that I want to know is, now that not in Indian jurisdiction, I think I can speak clearly about it. Is that why is it that like team like Dream 11 or Team 11, which is sold as a fantasy playing app, which obviously is not fantasy but it's betting. So why is it? I don't know, no, not why is it. Uh, why the term has been chosen as a fantasy, and how is the product sold in this market where betting is illegal?
So there is a slight difference between fantasy and betting, Manan. When it
Hmm.
comes to fantasy, fantasy happens right before the game starts. So that is illegal in India. You make your own team, and
Okay.
according to your analysis, you end up earning. So according to Government of India, the game of skills is not betting. The game of non-skills is betting. So
No.
this is your skills. This is the analysis that you end up doing right before the start of the game. You believe that these 11 players will be performing the best on the field, and you end up making your a fantasy team. So it is out of betting. Betting is something which happens before, during the matches, where a non-skill thing, just on the basis of your gut, you end up putting your money, and that is called betting. So that is illegal in India, and
Yeah.
that's the difference. So that's
Okay.
how Dream 11, My Team 11, and other brands are surviving in this industry.
Wow, wow, that is such a smart way to go about the existing laws in the country. I mean, I wasn't aware that what is the difference between betting and fantasy, because as a layman, I'm like, हाँ ये लोग बस खाली term अलग कर रहे हैं. That is not a much. That is not a difference between them. But that's great. I mean, that's really smart. Whoever has gone about this laws is really a smart
Yeah.
person to build a business around this. Wow. And people do this on a very huge scale in India, fantasy playing.
Uh, very youth scale. If I talk about Dream 11 is the giant in the industry.
Mhm.
Around 33 crore rupees were put for every IPL game on Dream 11. For every IPL game on Dream 11. Yes, you heard it right. And
Wow.
you end up, you can understand that what is the market, how big this market is, because Dream 11 was also the title sponsor of one of the IPL seasons,
Hmm.
and that was 2020 season when Dream 11 was the title sponsor. So just understand how big this industry, fantasy gaming, is actually rising in India, that they have so much money that they can even sponsor a league like IPL. So it involves a lot of money, and that money comes from users. Those users are putting money like anything, they're earning like anything, and millions of users in India are participating in this tournament on either Dream 11 or MyTeam 11.
Wow. 33 crore per match. It is an enormously huge amount
Yeah,
per
per
match. My
match.
God. I mean, I was under the impression that this takes place only in the IPL, but when you told this right now that it's taking place in these matches as well, it's
All
really.
matches, all possible games. So
Hmm.
fantasy is legal in India for
Hmm.
any game that involves more than two players. So it should be a
Hmm.
team sport, and fantasy is possible on that.
Wow. And if somebody is playing this fantasy cricket, the prize that is being won after the match, does that have a real value that can be availed?
Yeah, it has a real value. You get all the money after deducting the taxes.
Okay.
People earn
Wow.
around 2-3 crores in a day.
My God.
Yeah. But you need to be a
Man,
lot. You need to be very lucky to earn that amount, because it's not that easy. A lot of users end up participating. A lot of analysis goes behind it. A lot of permutation combination. You need to be very lucky, and then you end up winning. But yes, people do win. People don't do
wow.
win that
Yeah,
amount.
I mean, that will be the 1% of the population or people who
Not
are
even
participating.
1%, point zero one
Point one.
percent. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, Vedant, I mean, this has been a mind-blowing conversation overall. I mean, not throughout the way, but whenever you spoke, see these stats or data, I was like mind blown completely. And thank you for doing this with us. And what else can I say? I mean, I mean, I felt that you opened up completely about this part of work as well, where people are hesitant to talk about work in these lines, where they are asked a fantasy or betting में क्या difference है. But that is courageous of you to speak as well, and I really appreciate you doing this, man.
Thank you so much, Manan. I think it has been lovely to be on your show, and thoroughly enjoyed. I think it's very good to be on this side. You were a lovely host. Never made me feel uncomfortable. I think you have been very supportive, and wish you very best for whatever you do next. And looking forward for this episode whenever it comes out.